I think Indy need to start her. I think Indy need to start Ty Harris. Like, go for it. Something needs to change. Like Lexi Hall. Lexi Hall. Sorry, I think we need to describe her as Lexi Null right now. But like, I want to ask you guys this question. Lexi Hall's played 33 games this season. How many games do you think she has had more fouls than points? Lexi Hall hasn't broke 10 points in a game since the 10th of July. Like, she has had more fouls than points in 2, 3, or more or even fouls than points. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. In 13 of 33 games, Lexi Hall has had more or equal fouls to points. She's had more or equal fouls to points in 13 of 33 games. She plays no defense. She doesn't shoot anymore. And maybe Lexi Hall, as a hustle player off the bench, will get her career back on track. Because I have no question about it, that Lexi Hall as a hustle player is a net positive to a team. I have no question about that. But the problem is again, she's an 800k player. But Ty Harris, like the shit that she was doing, like she was 5 or 5 from 3. And again, can she guard anybody? No, but neither can Lexi. This is the most hilarious story. Caitlin Clark played hero ball and kept Dallas Wings in the game until Stephanie White sat her at the end of the third. What are we doing? But like Ty Harris here, let's take a look. Like, look at these times. This was when nothing was going. She was going to hit a big 3. And wide open to tie it up in the fourth quarter. She hits that. And then to make it a 5-point game. And like, this was not an easy look here. Off the dribble. Sidestep. Oh, I'm feeling it today. I'm going to hit it. Like, that is one of those things. And to call the timeout. And again, this one here to make it a 13-point game, this 3. And then the last one was just garbage time 3. It doesn't really matter. But like, Ty Harris, I think the Fever need to do something. And I don't know if starting Sophie is the answer. Because starting Sophie, I think she gives you too much on the bench. I genuinely do. But the thing is, the 3-guard lineup works. Like, I understand, like, it's too small a lineup, they're too short. Use it against some teams, don't use it against others. But, like, to act like Lexi Hall is this S-tier defensive rebounder. Or that Sophie Cunningham is going to really help your rebounding. Like, especially when you have KK now on the floor, your rebounding's better. Your rebounding just gets better from having KK Timpson on the floor. So that's something, for one. Having KK on the floor makes your rebounding better. So you might as well take advantage of having KK. By being able to go and maybe improving your offense drastically. And I get it. You're like, but we want to guard off the bench. But like, she's coming in for limited minutes. You don't have to keep your same rotations. But it just doesn't feel like the Lexi Hall experiment is working. And I don't know what the answer is. I actually don't. And again, the problem with Lexi Hall is Lexi Hall realistically is like, she is a shell of herself of what she was. I think she made 1 or 2 good hustle plays, and you give credit where credit's due. She works her ass off. And there's a spot in the league for that. The problem is again, the expectations change with Lexi Hall when she's making 800K. Lexi Hall would have been benched in 2025 or 2024 playing like this. She would have been. And I just think the Indiana Fever starters just don't feel... It doesn't feel like it's a lineup that starts games well. And could Lexi be the problem with that? Could KK be the problem or be the solution? Maybe. But it just feels like with Ty Harris on the floor, you can at least, get Kate on some off-ball looks. Ty Harris appears to be the better shooter of the two. And it is one of those things now where, the Indiana Fever, I just feel like come playoff time, maybe Lexi steps up in the playoffs. But, she was terrible in the playoffs last year. I know she made that game-winning steal, but, I don't know. I really don't know. I remember until that point, I remember being, live, being in a chat with, I'm pretty sure while it was going on, being in a chat with, Rosie and Robin and stuff, being like, man, Lexi can't guard anybody. And then suddenly Lexi goes and gets the game with a steal. But, hopefully there's some. There is some way that the Fever can figure out how to make Lexi work. And as the Athletic said, maybe there needs to be maybe she needs to come off the bench for Raven Johnson, I guess. I don't know. Obviously, I'm bullshitting there. Raven Johnson shouldn't be anywhere near the team. But if we're being real, it just doesn't feel like the starters are their best five. And I like Sophie off the bench. And I like the 3-guard lineup today. And I get it. You can do it against some teams. You're not running the 3-guard lineup against Atlanta. But, is there a reason to not run the 3-guard lineup against Golden State? Is there a reason to not run the 3-guard lineup against against Vegas? Against New York before Phoebus comes back? For me, there's no reason to not run it unless you're playing Minnesota or you're playing Atlanta with Ryan at the 3. But it doesn't feel like the negatives of running it outweigh the positives at this point in time. But I could be wrong, obviously. I could be wrong with all of this. And you guys are well within your right to call me out for being wrong if you think I'm wrong. But anyway, that's the video. I'll see you guys.